Good afternoon. My name is Mike Sylvia, Deputy Fire Chief for the City of Taunton, SYLVIA. With me today is Mayor Thomas Hoy and Lieutenant Eric Nichols. Last night, the Taunton Fire Department responded to 5 fires in the span of 2 hours that may have been intentionally set in the City of Taunton. The fires took place between 11:20 p.m. Wednesday and 1:30 a.m. Thursday morning. No injuries were reported at any of these fires. Each fire was quickly knocked down and extinguished by the Taunton Fire Department. I want to commend our firefighters who quickly went from fire to fire in a short period of time to prevent them from spreading and causing further property damage or potential injury. This matter that we are taking very seriously remains under active investigation by Taunton Fire Department, the Taunton Police Department, and investigators from the State Fire Marshal's Office. There is currently a reward of up to $5,000 being offered to anyone who can help solve the case and identify persons or people responsible for these fires.
Chief, anybody, is there any surveillance video of any of these scenes that you guys are going to be able to look at?
Detectives are currently making rounds in the area looking for surveillance from business.
Do you have any description of who you might be looking for? Do you think it's one person
We
or
have a
multiple?
vague description, but we're not going to put anything out at this time.
Do you think it's one person or multiple people?
Not at liberty to say at this time.
Can you talk about the person who was arrested and then later released and what that was all about?
I'll let Lieutenant Nichols speak on that.
At some point during the active investigation last night during the fires, there was one person detained briefly, taken into custody and questioned. At that time, it was determined that he was not involved, or at least they didn't have probable cause at that time that he was involved, and he was released at that time.
Lieutenant, did his phone have forensics on it that you guys, I was told that maybe some of the places that he had been on his phone matched up with the fires?
I'm sure that's part of the ongoing investigation, but it's too early to speculate at this time if that had involvement in the fires.
Is there any connection between the locations other than being within close proximity?
Again, I think it's too early to speculate as far as if there's a definite connection, but the proximity seems to be the connecting factor.
Lieutenant, are there any other unsolved arsons in Taunton that maybe look similar?
Not that I'm aware of at this time, Deputy. No.
Some older cases, possibly, but nothing that's been recent.
Can you talk about the damage to the bakery since people in the apartments above had to be evacuated?
Damage to the bakery was sustained to the basement. There was severe electrical damage to the area, therefore we had TMLP disconnect power for the safety of all involved. The tenants have been displaced and been put up for the day or the evening by TEMA, Taunton Emergency Management.
So, Chief, do you know whether the basement was locked or did you not?
I'm not going to let that out at this time.
This is, so there was a fire in Art's Bakery on Washington Street in 2008. Do you know at the current moment if this is connected to that at all?
Doubtful.
I know you were able to bring these fires under control rather quickly, but can you speak to the severity of this crime? People could have gotten hurt.
Absolutely. The Arts Bakery fire, there was 4 tenants occupying the building at the time. They were quickly taken from the building as the fire was being extinguished. But absolutely, that could have been the worst case scenario.
Can you talk about how you're fighting one fire and the next one is being set at the same time, how difficult that was?
It does become challenging. They were physically going from one scene to the next scene to extinguish fires. The last fire came in while we were just finishing up the Arts Bakery fire, and every apparatus on scene went directly to Leonard Court to extinguish that fire.
These were relatively close to the police station as well, so does that suggest that the alleged arsonist is pretty bold?
Can't elaborate.
One of the properties is abandoned. I don't know what the status of that is. Is it secured? People, some of the neighbors say people go in there all the time, et cetera.
That's quite possible. There is an abandoned structure adjacent to the second fire. It did not sustain any damage. There was a fire in proximity to it that was quickly extinguished.
Chief, this is sort of an uncommon event, firefighters are one night, but is this anything you'd look at to see whether you do anything about your manning or anything like that?
Not at this time.
Did you have mutual aid at all in any of these?
We did not have mutual aid in.
Were there 2 abandoned buildings or just one?
There was only, I'm sorry, there was 2 abandoned. The last fire was an abandoned structure that the City of Taunton currently owns. That's part of the project for the revamp of these City Hall project.
Can you remember the warning to residents about future arsons?
Be vigilant, lock your doors, don't leave things outside that could be utilized.
What kind of danger did some of these fires, in particular the one at the gas station, what did they pose if they weren't knocked down as quickly as they were?
Again, the most severe fire could have been the Arts Bakery fire because we had occupants in the building at the time.
Can you tell us how the fires were set?
Not at this time.
Do you have any idea what the accelerants were?
I can't elaborate on that at this time.
Have the evacuated residents been allowed back in about that bakery?
To retrieve personal items, and after that, power was disconnected to the building.
So an indefinite period of time they'll be out.
They're out for an indefinite period of time, yes.
Do you have any sense if it's one or more people?
Again, it's...
I think at this time, it's too early in the investigation to speculate at this.
Couple more questions, guys?
And the reason for not releasing the description is because,
It's just too early on the investigation. They're trying to piece everything together right now, create timelines, look at video. It's a very active and ongoing investigation, and it's just too early to speculate on some of those details.
Mr. Mayor, could I ask you a question?
Certainly.
There are all the things you gotta worry about and deal with. This must bother you that you gotta deal with this.
It certainly does, and I'd like to commend the fire department for their quick action and the police department as well, but yeah, of course it bothers you anytime, the police chief calls you at 2 in the morning. It's not usually a good thing, but at the same time, I have confidence that this person will be placed under arrest, hopefully very soon, and justice will be brought, and I just want to assure the residents of Taunton they are safe. We will remain vigilant. We have extra patrols out as needed, and we will, we'll continue to until we deem that not necessary.
Last question?
Because this happened overnight, sort of 11 o'clock until 1:30 in the morning, were there many witnesses around?
I think that's what part of the investigation's doing right now. We're trying to gather all witness statements. They're doing several interviews, like you said, video footage. They're trying to create a timeline. So it's a very active investigation. We wish we had more for you at this time, but right now it's just too early to speculate on all that, the details.